Hello, hello, hello. This is Bigbobby, your favorite click and chortle guru from Studio L7, where we dish out more than just tips on photography, podcasting, field recording, and B2B filmmaking. Today I've got a flavor-bursting proposition that'll make your taste buds do a little boogie. Now hold on to your lenses, folks, because we're trading our f-stops for food stops and our light meters for lamb. That's right. St. Anna Greek Orthodox Church over in sunny Roseville, California, is so thrilled about its nearly finished construction that they're saying, "Let there be food festival." Picture this, a 2-day Epicurean extravaganza where the shutterbugs meet the sugar bugs. Mark your calendars for Saturday, the 9th of September from 11 a.m. to the light-leaking golden hour of 10 p.m., and again on Sunday the 10th, from high noon until the 8 p.m. twilight. But don't fret, my focus faithful. The only thing getting underexposed here is your diet. So grab your widest wide-angle lens and prepare to capture the culinary cornucopia. The only rule? No flash. It scares the souvlaki. Now you don't want to lose the plot here, so be sure to follow the festival on Facebook for all the sizzling, drool-worthy updates. Consider it the sneak peek trailer to your feature flavor film. So pack up your camera bag, folks, and make sure to leave room for a doggy bag. Let's show them how we say cheese at Studio L7. And remember, when it comes to food and photography, timing is everything. So don't get caught waiting for the reheat. Catch you at the festival, folks. Bigbobby, signing off. Welcome, dear listeners, to another exciting episode of Studio L7, where we discuss all things photography, podcasting, field recording, and filmmaking. I'm your host, Bigbobby. Now, if you're a regular listener, you might have noticed a teeny-tiny, itty-bitty, almost insignificant mistake in our last podcast. Well, today I'm going to come clean and tell you how I got my wires crossed and ended up with a B2Big Oopsie. Let's start with a brief refresher, just to make sure we're all on the same page. As you know, here on Studio L7, we create content primarily for B2B companies. For those of you not in the know, that stands for business to business, the kind of companies that sell to other companies, not to individual consumers. Now, don't get me wrong. The information we provide can still be super useful for all sorts of creative ventures. It's just that we've chosen to niche down and focus on B2B specifically. But sometimes, as you're about to find out, even the sharpest lens can lose its focus. So last week I received an email from one of our lovely listeners, Gary. Now, Gary owns a successful wedding photography business and was intrigued by our recent episode on field recording for B2B podcasts. Gary asked if I had any tips or insights on field recording for wedding photographers, and well, your humble host was only too happy to help. Oh yes, I dove headfirst into the world of wedding photography. I mean, how hard could it be? After all, weddings are just like B2B events, right? There are people, there's a location, and there are things happening. It's like comparing apples to apples. If the apples were wearing tuxedos and bridal gowns, piece of wedding cake. But as I sat down to write that script, I noticed something strange. The tips I was coming up with sounded more like B2C advice. The horror. That's right, folks. I, Bigbobby, the B2B guru of Studio L7, had unwittingly wandered into the forbidden world of B2C, otherwise known as business-to-consumer territory. But hey, as the old saying goes, when life hands you lemons, make lemonade. Or in this case, when you accidentally create a B2C-focused podcast script, turn it into a humorous cautionary tale. So today we'll not only discuss the B2Big Oopsie, but we'll also explore the importance of staying true to your niche, knowing your audience, and learning from your mistakes. Before we delve into the details of my oopsie, let's take a moment to appreciate the power of niching down. As the great philosopher Plato once said, photography and podcasting are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Wait, no, that's not right. That was Forrest Gump, not Plato. Anyway, the point is, it's easy to get lost in the vast world of creative media. One moment, you're an expert in B2B photography. The next, you're giving advice on recording the perfect audio for an ASMR YouTuber who specializes in whispering lullabies for insomniacs. The lesson here? Stick to your niche and know your audience. It's what separates the greats from the merely good. So, let's break down my B2Big Oopsie step by step. What started as an innocent attempt to help Gary turned into a wild goose chase, where I found myself submerged in the world of B2C wedding photography. I started writing tips on capturing the perfect first dance, the nuances of photographing a multi-tiered cake, and even how to wrangle unruly groomsmen for that perfect group shot. And as I scribbled away, A voice in the back of my head whispered, "Bigbobby, my dear, you've strayed too far from the B2B path." Suddenly it hit me. I had to face the facts. I had indeed made a B2Big Oopsie. But fear not, dear listeners, for in the face of adversity, true heroes rise to the occasion. And that's precisely what I did. Instead of wallowing in self-pity and erasing the script, I decided to transform this blunder into a valuable learning experience. And what better way to do that than to share this tale of mishaps with you, my loyal audience? First and foremost, let's remember the importance of niching down. By focusing on a specific area, we become experts and can provide top-notch content that our audience craves. When we deviate from that path, we risk diluting our message and losing sight of our mission. Secondly, know your audience. As tempting as it might be to please everyone, we must remember who our content is truly for. In my case, that's you, the B2B creatives who tune in every week to hear the latest and greatest in photography, podcasting, field recording, and filmmaking. Finally, learn from your mistakes. Embrace your B2Big Oopsies and transform them into B2 better opportunities. After all, we're all human, and making mistakes is just part of the process. It's how we handle them that truly counts. So, there you have it, folks. The tale of my B2Big Oopsie, a story filled with intrigue, missteps, and redemption. And as we wrap up today's episode, let's remember to stay true to our niche, know our audience, and never be afraid to learn from our mistakes. I want to give a special shout-out to Gary, whose innocent question led to this roller coaster of a podcast episode. Thank you for providing us with an opportunity to learn and grow together. And with that, dear listeners, we have come to the end of today's episode. I'm your host, Bigbobby, and this has been Studio L7, your one-stop shop for all things B2B photography, podcasting, field recording, and filmmaking. Until next time, keep your lenses focused and your ears sharp.